Well, friends, I pray today that you are blessed and that you're living in the surety of the Father's promises. The Father has made promises to us, and He continues to bring them to fruition. Remember, one of the things the Father says to each and every one of us is, the word which is spoken from my mouth will not come back void. It will accomplish the purposes for which I sent it. So when God makes a promise, remember, that is His guarantee. It is His word to us. We've been talking about the promises of God. And there's one promise that many of us have yet to experience. We have heard about it. We think about it. We know that we will be there one day. But at the same time, where is it? What is it? I'm talking about heaven. And a few days ago, we did have a 17-year-old's view of heaven. But today I want to give you a much more mature view of heaven. Because the idea here is someone is writing about heaven, about what they expect there. And if time allows, I'll also give you another letter from heaven. But this is by Dr. Harry Reamer. He begins it this way. He's writing to his children. He says, "May my children remember me, that I was more concerned about their internal destiny than their temporal good. May they through their tears say, I'll see you again someday, Daddy, in heaven." It's based on John chapter 14. Several years ago, he says, after he's written the above, Dr. Harry Reamer, noted author of good books, wrote the following letter to Dr. Charles E. Fuller of the Old-Fashioned Revival Hour. He wrote, "Next Sunday, you're going to talk about heaven. I'm interested in that land because I held a clear title to a bit of property there. I've held it for over 50 years. I didn't buy it. It was given to me without money and without price. But the donor purchased it at tremendous sacrifice. Now, listen, I'm not holding it for speculation, since the title is not transferable and it's not a vacant lot. For more than half a century, I've been sending materials, out of which the greatest architect and builder in the universe has been building a home for me. That home will never need remodeling or repairs because it suits me perfectly. It suits me individually, and I'll never grow old. Termites cannot undermine its foundation, for it rests upon the rock of ages. Fire cannot destroy it. Floods cannot wash it away. There are no locks or bolts will ever be placed on the doors, for no vicious person can ever enter there. I'm describing the land where my dwelling dwells. It's almost complete and almost ready for me to enter it. I will abide there in peace for eternity. I will abide there without fear of being ejected or rejected. There's a valley of deep shadow between that place where I live and that place which I must go. I cannot tell you when that will happen or when I will reach my home in that city. But I know that I have to pass through this deep valley. But I tell you, I'm not afraid. Because the best friend I ever had went through the same valley long, long ago and drove away all of its gloom. He has stuck with me rather, through thick and thin since we first became acquainted 55 years ago. And I hold his promise in printed form, never to forsake me nor leave me alone. He will be with me as I walk through the valley of the shadow, and I shall not lose my way because he is there. His presence, his light guides me. Dr. Fuller, I hope to hear your sermon on heaven next Sunday, but I have no assurance that I'll be able to do so. Listen, my ticket to heaven has no date marked for the journey. There's no return coupon, no permit for my baggage. But yes, I'm ready to go. And I may not be here while you're talking next Sunday evening, but I know that I'll meet you there someday. Well, the end of this story is this. Dr. Reamer didn't live to hear Dr. Fuller's sermon the following Sunday, because before Sunday came, he said good night here and good morning up there. My friends, remember, in order to be heaven bound, we must be heaven born. Remember, Jesus says, I go to prepare a place for you. And when you come, I will meet you there. Isn't that God's wonderful promise? One, a home, heaven. And then two, we will be met by Jesus, who will take us and show us our mansion. That's what happened with Dr. Reamer. He fell asleep here. Good night. Woke up there. Good morning. And then is shown to his mansion. Because remember, another promise of Jesus to us about heaven is, in my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare one for you. If it were not so, I would have told you. Live in that reality, that heaven is our new home, that heaven has been prepared for you and I as we go to meet with the Father. Jesus, indeed, thank you for Dr. Reamer, knowing that he has a home guaranteed that cannot be forsaken, taken away from him, or old age, or destroyed because of you. Jesus, thank you for heaven, our eternal home. In your name, Jesus, I pray. Amen. Be blessed today, my dear friends, and know that the Father is indeed with you today.